Hi students, if you take this body and if you apply some force on this body, see here when I applying the force on the edge of this body, the body is not going to move along a straight line, body is trying to rotate about a point. Similarly, if I apply force here also, body is rotating. If I apply force here also, body is rotating. If I apply force here, now the body is moving. So, that means whenever a body is allowed to rotate freely, one point is not going to move, all other points are going to move around that fixed point. Here, if I apply force here, you can see it is moving in this direction, it is coming in this direction. So, there is a fixed point which is not going to change its position. So, that position is called center of rotation, already we studied this. So, this is called a center of rotation. So, whenever we rotate a body freely with any external force, there is always a single point which is never going to move. This is called a center of rotation. For regular bodies, this center of rotation is also known as a center of mass. Now, if you take a body which is pivoted here, now if you apply force here, then what happens? This body will try to move in this direction. Now, while moving this one, see this point, let us say point 1 is going to move in this path. 1 is going to move in this path, 2 will move in this path, third point, 4th, 5th, 6th. So, 4, 5, 6. Now, how to describe the motion of this entire body? But if you want to describe the motion of a single particle, it traveled only some distance and the displacement is less. For second particle, displacement is more. Third particle, displacement will be more than the previous one. So, different particles are having different displacements, but the angle described by all these particles will be same. Let us say this is 30 degrees. So, this is also 30, 30, 30. All these angles are 30 degrees only. Now, to describe the motion of this entire body, we need to consider a point. We need to consider a point where the total mass appears to concentrate, where the total mass appears to concentrate. And that point where the total mass appears to concentrate is known as center of mass. So, for this body, let us say the fourth point is the center of mass of this one. So, this point is the center of mass of this one. Why? Because here the mass is less, here the mass is more for us. But if you divide this into two parts, the point where the mass will be equal on both sides is called center of mass. So, how to find the center of mass of a regular body and irregular bodies, we will learn after this. Here, when I am opening this door, so these are called pivoted points at the top and bottom. Whenever I am applying force on this one to close this door, I am applying force on the edge of this door. So, what is the movement acting on this one? Here, whenever a force is acting on a body, on the center of mass, body always moves along a straight line. But here, for this door, center of mass will lie around here. So, if I apply force here, door would move along a straight line. But I am not applying force at the center of mass, and I am applying force other than that center of mass. So, now when I am pulling this one, so the effect can be seen along this line, that means axis of rotation. So, when I am applying force like this, the effect can be shown along that point, and due to this the door is rotating about that fixed axis. So, this is called the effect of rotation or effect of the force in the rotation is called movement. So, this is called movement of force. Now, what is this movement? Movement, actually this is the effect of the force in rotational motion, or simply the effect of rotational motion. Whenever a body is rotating, it will show some effect. That effect is called movement. Now, in this example, in the door example, when I am trying to open this door by using the knob provided at the center here, somewhere here, this is the center of mass, but I am not applying force at the center of mass. This is hinged here. So, these are the two hinges. In some cases, hinges may be provided here. So, this is called axis of rotation. So, if you apply force here, let us say force acting on this one is 100 newtons. If you apply 100 newtons force, we can rotate the door easily. If you apply 100 newtons force somewhere nearer to the center of mass, somewhere here at point 2, then 100 newtons force is not enough to rotate this door. That means, similarly, if you apply force 100 newtons only here, and you cannot rotate the door easily. And if you apply force here 100 newtons along the axis of rotation, you cannot rotate the door. So, these are the different points. Here you need to apply more force, less force and very less force here, and even if you apply infinite force, you cannot open the door or close the door. You can take this example to explain this movement. So, what is this movement? Movement is any physical quantity that is being applied into the perpendicular distance between axis of rotation and the point of application. Now, in this case, this is called movement of force, simply movement or movement of force. So, how to find the moment of force while rotating a body? So, that is any physical quantity means, as I mentioned here, moment of force. So, this is force into the perpendicular distance between axis of rotation and point of application. So, this is the axis of rotation and this is the point of application. So, I am applying force here along this point. So, on this point. So, this is the perpendicular distance. So, let me take it as a R. So, this moment of force. Now, what is meant by moment of mass? If it is given as moment of mass, we can write mass into the perpendicular distance between that axis of rotation and the point of application of this one. So, we can write this as this moment as m into r. So, what is the moment of mass? That is m into r. What is the SI unit and dimension formula for this one? Mass is measured in kgs and distance is measured in meter. So, this is kg meter and the dimension formula mass m and distance L. Let us say if you want to change the tire of a car, a punctured tire, a tube. So, first what you do, if you take our car, this is our car and we are going to change this tire here because it is punctured. So, we will use a jockey here to lift the car to remove this tire. So, for jockey we use one lever, this is called lever. So, if you rotate the lever, we can lift the entire car at this point, about this point. If the length of the lever is more, it is easy for us to lift the car. That means, the effect of the rotation will be more if the length of the lever is more. So, here this perpendicular distance is also called length of arm used in this case. Now, if you apply, in this case, if you apply 100 newtons force with the length of lever, let us say 2 meters, the total force into distance, that is moment of force, is given by, this is 2 meter, this is 200 Newton meter. Suppose if 2 meter long lever is not available, let us say we have only 1 meter lever here. So, this is 1 meter and but to lift this car we need this much moment of force, that is 200 Newton meter only. So, for this how much force you have to apply? 200 Newtons. Suppose if length of the lever is only half meter, if it is half meter, but we need 200 Newton meter, moment of force to lift the car. So, for this I need to apply 400 newtons. This is very easy concept to learn about the movement. Now, if I want to lift one stone, then I need to use one rod. If the length of the rod is more, and by applying a little force, we can lift the stone from that one. But if the length of the rod is less, then I need to apply more force to lift the same thing. That means, to get that effect, it depends on, that means the effect depends on two factors. One is the force that we are applying and the perpendicular distance or length of the arm. So, what is this center of mass? Simply we write COM, that is center of mass. The center of mass of a system is a point. This is a point where the total mass of the system is supposed to concentrate or appears to concentrate. Now, as I said earlier, now let us say this is a body of mass something, and if I apply force on this one here, generally body will try to rotate about this point, because this force will rotate this body. But if the same force applied here also, then also it will try to rotate this body. But if it is the center of mass, if this force acts along that point, along the line of this center of mass of this one, then this force will give the translatory motion to this body. That means the total mass of this body, these are the small particles in this one. That means the total mass of this body appears to concentrate at a single point. So, this is the point where the mass of all these particles appears to concentrate or supposed to concentrate. So, this is called center of mass. Now, see this point, center of mass of a system is a point such that when a force is applied on this one, it will give the same effect as when the force is distributed and applied to each and every particle. So, what is the meaning of this one? Let us say a force is acting on this one, which is F1, a force is acting on this one, F2, a force is acting on this one, F3. Different particles are experiencing different forces. So, if you take like this, let us say this is the nth particle, which is Fn. So, what is the total sum of all these forces acting, because all forces are acting in the same direction. So, the net force is given by F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 and so on Fn. This is the net force. Now, if you add all these forces, you will get a net force. Now, if that net force is acting on this point, the effect will be same. That means, see this point. When a force is applied on this particular point, this F net is acting on center of mass, this is the center of mass, it will show some effect. Let us say it is moving this body by 10 meters due to this total net force. Instead of this F net, let us say each and every particle experience some force, and effect, when all forces are acting on each and every particle is experiencing some force. So, due to this, if all the sum of all these forces is exactly equal to the F net, then also this body will travel only 10 meters. That means the effect will be same in both cases. So, that point whose effect is similar to this one, or F net is equal to sum of all the forces, and that point is called center of mass. And the third important point, sum of moments of all the masses about the center of mass of the system is always equal to 0. By using this concept, we can find the center of mass of this any regular body. So, how to find the center of mass of a regular body? We will see by using this concept of sum of the moments of all masses about center of mass is 0. Now, by using the concept of the sum of the moments of all the masses about center of mass is 0, I am going to find the center of mass of a system. Now, first of all, let me take two particle system, a system which consists of only two particle system. So, in this case, let me take this as M1 and this is M2. Let the distance between these two is given as small r, is the distance between these two. and let us say center of mass lies somewhere here, because center of mass lies between the two particles. So this is the center of mass. The distance of center of mass from M1, let us say this is R1, and center of mass from the second mass, let us say this is R2. Now we know that the sum of the point that we are using, sum of moments of all the masses about center of mass is 0. So we are using this concept to find the center of mass in this case. So actually speaking, this is algebraic sum. So what is this algebraic sum? Now if you take a rod here, and on this rod, let us say if you are applying force only here, let us say this is pivoted here, supported by something here, pivoted. So this is pivoted. If only this force is acting on this rod, so the tendency of this rod to rotate will be in this direction. So this is a clockwise rotation. And if you know the distance between these two, let us say this is R1. So what is the moment of this force about this point? So this is F into R1. Now if the same force acts on this one here, let us say this is F and the distance is R2. Now this force is not acting, if let us say only this force is acting here, only this force on the left side is acting, then this rod will tend to move in this direction. That means tend to rotate in this direction. This is anti-clockwise rotation. So this, what is the new force, moment of force? This is force into R2, FR2. Remember, this effect, due to this moment of force, this rod or the system will try to move in the anti-clockwise direction. Because of this force, the rod will try to move in this direction. The clockwise rotation or clockwise direction or clockwise movement, this is clockwise movement of force or mass or anything. This movement is taken as negative. Please remember this one. The clockwise movement is, this is only the assumption made by the scientist previously. They took this as a negative movement and this as a positive movement. So this is a positive movement. Now in this case also, in this system, if only M2 is present, M1 is absent, then the system due to gravity will try to move down. So this is a clockwise movement. This is a anti-clockwise movement. So here the clockwise movement is negative and this is a positive. So this is only by convention, please remember this one, only by convention these symbols are given. So there is no restriction there. You can take that as positive, this is negative, but as it is given in our textbook, clockwise movement as negative and anti-clockwise movement as positive, you please follow this convention only. Now here by taking the algebraic sum of moment, why? Because moments are not scalars, moment is a vector here. That's why vector will have positive value as well as negative value. Which are positive, which are negative? The clockwise are negative and anti-clockwise are positive. So based on this one, what I am going to write, about this center of mass, about this point, what is the moment of mass M2? That is negative. What is the moment of mass M1? Positive. So sum of algebraic sum means adding both positive and negative here. So about this point, this mass distance of R1, so moment is given by plus M1 R1, and this I am adding now mass M2 into R2, but remember students, this is a M2 R2, but this is negative. So according to this statement, the total sum must be equal to 0. So now I am going to write M1 R1 minus M2 R2 is equal to 0. So M1 R1 is equal M2 R2. Now I want to find out center of mass of this system from this particle, that is nothing but R1. So I want to find out R1. So M1 R1 is equal m2 into, how to write r2 here? R2 can be written as the distance between these two particles r minus r1. So we can write this as r minus r1. So we can write m1 r1 is equal m2 r minus m2 r1. If you bring this one this side, you will get m1 r1 plus m2 r1 is equal m2 r. You can take r1 common. This will become m1 plus m2 into m2 r. So what is the distance of center of mass from the first particle, that is from m1, which is given by r1 is equal m2 r by m1 plus m2. This is the position of center of mass for these two particles. Now, if you want to find out R2 value, just substitute, we know R2 is equal to R minus R1. R2 is equal to R minus R1, that is R minus R1 is this M2 R by M1 plus M2. This you can write M1R plus M2R minus M2R by M1 plus M2. These two get cancelled. R2 can be given as M1 into R by M1 plus M2. This is the second point. Now, you can observe these two values. R1 is equal to mass of the second particle into distance between two particles by sum of the two masses. Similarly, R2 is equal to mass of the first particle into distance between the two particles by sum of the masses. Now, if you write R1 by R2, so what is R1 by R2? The denominator will be same, so you can cancel this and this. So the remaining terms R and R also get cancelled. So R1 R2 is given by M2 by M1. So what is the meaning of this one? The distance of the center of mass of the first particle R1 inversely proportional to mass. That means if mass is more, distance of the center of mass will be less. So out of these two, let us say if I consider M2 greater than M1, let us say M2 greater than M1. So what is the meaning of this one? R1 greater than R2. So this is R1 greater than R2. So R1 is more, R2 will be less. But in this problem, you can see R1 is less, R2 is more. So what we have to consider, as R1 is less in this diagram, M2 should be less. So M2 greater than M1 is wrong. It should be stated that, it should be noted that the mass of the second particle is less than the first particle according to this diagram. That means center of mass of a system always lies nearer to the bigger mass. So that is the meaning of this one. Center of mass of a system always lies nearer to the bigger mass. If there are only two masses, here center of mass lies nearer to M1, means M1 is greater than M2 in this case. System, let us say I have taken this as this is x-axis and this is y-axis, and I have taken two particles of masses M1 here, M2 here. Let us say M1 greater than M2. If M1 greater than M2, we know that the center of mass always lies nearer to the bigger mass. So let us say this is the center of mass of this system, COM. Let the distance of this one from the origin, let distance of the first mass is R1, distance of second mass is R2, and distance of the center of mass, let us say this is R. Now, if you take the sum of this one, the statement, algebraic sum of the moments of all the masses about center of mass should be 0. So about this point, let me take the moments here. So for M1, the moment is, we know that M1 into this distance, let me take it as x1, and this is around x2. So what is x1 here? x1 is capital R minus this one. So M1 x1 is equal M2 x2 here. So we can write M1 into, what is x1? R minus R1 is equal M2 into, what is x2? x2 is nothing but R2 minus capital R. So I can write M1R minus m1 r1 is equal m2 r2 minus m2 r. Bring this one this side. M1 r plus m2 r will become m2 r2 plus m1 r1. If you take r common here, r of m1 plus m2 is equal m1 r1 plus m2 r2. So what is the distance of the center of mass from the origin? That is capital R in this diagram. So this will can be given by m1 r1 plus m2 r2 by m1 plus m2. This is the position of the center of mass from the origin. In this case, for 3 particle system, instead of 2, let me take a 3 particle system. So let us say this is m1, this is m2, this is m3, this is m1, let us say this is m2 and this is m3. So what is the position vectors of these particles with respect to the origin? This is r1, this is r2, this is r3. But r1 is nothing but x1, y1, r2 is nothing but x2, y2, r3 is nothing but x3, y3, because each and every particle will have x coordinate as well as y coordinate. Now, in that case, how this formula will change? We know that if for this 2 particle system, mass into position vector plus mass into second position vector by sum of the masses. These are the position vectors only. Now, here for 3 particle system, I can write m1 r1 plus m2 r2 plus m3 r3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3. This is r bar. These are the position vectors of m1, m2, m3. But what is m1? R1. R1 is x1, y1. So r1 can be written as this r1 can be written as r1 bar x1 I cap plus y1 j cap. Now, if you divide this into that form, you can have this r also in terms of x component as well as y coordinate. So, what is xcm? X center of mass, the center of mass, x coordinate of the center of mass is given by, in place of this what I am going to write, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3. So, ycom, y coordinate is m1 y1 plus m2 y2 plus m3 y3 by m1 plus m2 plus m3. So, this is a x coordinate of center of mass and this is y coordinate center of mass if the system has 3 particles. Instead of 3, there are n particles, the same expression can be written as mn xn by and so on mn. Similarly, this will become mn yn by so on mn. So, this is how you can find x coordinate and y coordinate. Suppose for n particles in a space, this is in plane, xy plane. In a space, then we will have one more expression, that is for z coordinate of center of mass also has to be written here. So, according to that, what we can write, zcom is given by m1 z1 plus m2 z2 plus and so on mn zn by m1 plus m2 and so on mn. This is how you can find a z coordinate center of mass of system.